Have you ever noticed that the more desperately you seek love, the more it escapes you? That your romantic relationships feel like emotional survival rather than genuine connection? Jacques Lacan revealed something that will shatter your illusions. Your need for love is only dependence on validation. And today, I'm going to prove to you that what you call love is actually a sophisticated form of emotional slavery that's destroying your capacity for authentic intimacy. If you are new here and like content like these, be part of our channel, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. Every time the channel posts a new video, YouTube will notify you. The brutal truth. Your desperate need for love isn't romantic, it's pathological. Every time you say I love you first, you're not expressing love, you're begging for validation. Every time you stay in toxic relationships, you're not being loyal, you're being addicted to the crumbs of approval someone throws you. I suggest you stay until the end, because I believe you will identify with what is being said. Result? You become an emotional beggar, trading your dignity for temporary reassurance that you matter. The validation trap. Listen to this. People can smell emotional desperation like predators smell fear. They know you'll accept anything, cheating, lies, emotional abuse, as long as they occasionally tell you what you want to hear. Your eager pursuit of love is not romance. It is disguised emotional prostitution. You are not loving. You are buying temporary relief from your existential emptiness at the price of your self-respect. The dependency factory. Dating apps. Validation addiction machines. Every swipe is a judgment. Every match is a hit of dopamine. You measure your worth by how many people want to sleep with you. Relationships. Constant fear of abandonment. You monitor their every word, analyze their every silence, sacrifice your needs to keep them happy. Social media, performative love theater. You post couple photos not out of joy, but to prove to others and yourself that you're worthy of being loved. All this keeps you emotionally dependent, needy, controllable. The shocking discovery. Lacan discovered that what we call love is often just the ego's desperate attempt to fill the void of our incomplete identity. You don't love them. You love how they make you feel about yourself. The more you need validation, the less attractive you become. The less attractive you become, the more you need validation. You are trapped in an emotional death spiral. The vicious cycle. Here's the cruel trick. The more you chase love, the more it runs away. It's like trying to catch your own shadow. The harder you run, the faster it moves. You become clingy. They pull away. You become more anxious. You chase harder. They run faster. You sacrifice your boundaries. You lose their respect. You feel less worthy. You sacrifice even more. The false love. Your desperate need for love is false. You're not loving out of abundance. You're loving out of lack. That's not love. It's emotional vampirism in disguise. True love requires no validation. It gives freely without expecting anything back. It enhances, but doesn't complete. The inner revolution. Want to know the secret? Emotional independence, not isolation, strategic self-sufficiency. Start small. Spend a weekend without checking their social media. Go somewhere alone that you'd normally go together. Say no to plans when you genuinely don't want to go. Every act of emotional independence is a punch to your needy validation addiction. The transformation. When you stop desperately seeking love, something magical happens. It finds you. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because you've become genuinely attractive, complete, confident, choosing rather than chasing. The price of authenticity. I'll be brutal. Becoming emotionally independent comes at a price. Weak people will leave you. Codependent relationships will end. Your validation suppliers will find new victims. And you know what? Perfect. Better to be alone and whole than coupled and empty. Better to lose fake connections than to slowly die in emotional quicksand. Warrior love. There is a love that is not dependence, it is warrior love. When you love from strength, not weakness. When you choose to love because you want to, not because you need to. This love has boundaries. It walks away when disrespected. It fiercely protects its emotional energy. The awakening. Lacan spoke of the mirror stage, when you realize your identity is constructed through others' perceptions. Your awareness of this psychological prison is already the first step toward emotional freedom. Love transformed. Transformed love doesn't drain you. It energizes you. It doesn't make you small. It makes you expand. It doesn't complete you. It celebrates your completeness. It becomes your gift to the world, not your demand from it. The code of emotional manipulation. Want to know how to identify when your need for love is being used against you? Pay attention to these signs. When you modify your behavior to avoid their displeasure, they are training you like a pet. When you think about expressing your needs and immediately worry about their reaction, your love has become servitude. When you stay awake analyzing their messages for hidden meanings, you're living in emotional prison. The inversion technique. Here's a technique that will change your life. Every time you feel desperate for their love, ask yourself, who benefits if I remain emotionally dependent? Afraid they'll leave if you set boundaries? They benefit from your unlimited availability. Afraid to express your needs? They benefit from your silence. Afraid to live your own life? They benefit from your total devotion. Your neediness always points you to where you need to create distance, not closeness. The security paradox. You've been taught that love requires sacrifice. That's a lie. Love requires wholeness. Real security comes from self-respect, not others' approval. When you act despite your fear of losing them, you discover that most of your relationship fears were phantoms. When you obey your neediness, your fears become your reality. The anatomy of emotional control. I'll tell you how they control you in 3 steps. First, they identify your deepest need: acceptance, security, validation, worth. Second, they create situations where this need can be threatened: emotional withdrawal, silent treatment, jealousy games. Third, they offer love in exchange for your compliance. If you're good, I'll love you. If you don't question me, I won't leave you. Dangerous independence. Real emotional independence is threatening to those who benefit from your dependence. That's why they sell you the myth of soulmates and completing each other. They make you believe it's better to be a cherished slave than a free person who might be alone. But what's the real risk? Living for someone else's approval, dying without ever having loved yourself, reaching the end knowing you were an actor in someone else's love story. The authenticity test. Want to know if you're loving authentically? Take this test. Imagine they disappeared tomorrow. Would you be devastated or would you be sad but still whole? If the answer is devastated, you're addicted, not in love. If the answer is sad but whole, you're on the right track. The micro-independence strategy. You don't have to end your relationship to start loving authentically. Start with micro-independence. Have one evening per week that's completely yours. Express one opinion they disagree with. Pursue one interest they don't share. Say no to one request without explanation. Each micro-independence is training for authentic love. You're strengthening your self-respect muscle. The power of solitude. Want to know the most powerful antidote to love addiction? Solitude. Not loneliness, but genuine enjoyment of your own company. When you realize that your relationship with yourself is the only one that matters, romantic desperation disappears like smoke. The silent revolution. Your revolution doesn't have to end relationships. It transforms them. When you stop needing validation, you become magnetic. When you stop fearing abandonment, you become irreplaceable. The neuroscience of attachment. I'll explain what happens in your brain when you're love addicted. Your dopamine receptors become dependent on external validation like a drug addiction. In plain English, you need increasingly stronger hits of approval to feel normal. The result? You act like an emotional junkie, not like a sovereign human being. You react out of withdrawal symptoms even when there's no real threat. The invisible conditioning. Since childhood, you've been conditioned to associate love with performance. Good grades? We're so proud of you. Bad behavior? We're disappointed in you. Your worth became tied to others' approval. Every time you loved freely, you were taught to doubt it. Every time you performed for love, you were rewarded. Your brain learned authenticity, risk of rejection, performance, temporary acceptance. The approval trap. You're addicted to romantic validation like a gambler is to slot machines. Every I love you, every affectionate gesture, every moment of intimacy gives you a dopamine hit. You become a slave to your own need for romantic confirmation. But here's the trick. The more you chase their love, the less they value it. People instinctively want what's scarce and devalue what's abundant. The fear of solitude. You're afraid to be alone because you believe solitude means you're unlovable. So you cling to relationships, even toxic ones, because being with someone feels better than confronting your own emptiness. But this clinging becomes a prison. You're trapped living for someone else's affection, measuring your worth by their mood, being a person that isn't you. The mirror strategy. Want to discover your authentic capacity for love? Observe your automatic reactions. When you feel like lying to avoid their displeasure, write it down. When you agree to things that compromise your values, write it down. When you smile while dying inside, write it down. These moments reveal where love has become slavery. Every automatic people-pleasing reaction is an invisible chain someone can use to control you. The power of brutal self-honesty. Try being brutally honest about your needs for a day. Not selfish, but honest. Say what you really need. Express what you really feel. Refuse what genuinely doesn't serve you. You'll discover something shocking. Healthy people will respect your boundaries more, not less. Authenticity breeds attraction. Desperation breeds contempt. The deadly question technique. Whenever you feel desperate for their love, ask yourself this question. What's the worst that could happen if this person doesn't validate me today? In most cases, you'll realize that the worst is nothing. You'll continue to exist, continue to have value, continue to be worthy of love. Romantic rejection is a ghost you feed with your own insecurity. The game of emotional dominance. Relationships are disguised power dynamics. Who needs more? Who gives more? Who compromises more? These are the unspoken questions that define romantic balance. When you're the most needy, you automatically become the least valued. People sense desperation and naturally assume the position of the prize, not out of cruelty, but psychological instinct. The strength of self-love. Paradox. Conscious self-love is magnetic. When you genuinely enjoy your own company, appreciate your own worth, celebrate your own existence, you become irresistible to healthy people. Yes, I enjoy being alone sometimes. Yes, I have my own dreams and goals. Yes, I'm complete without anyone else. This confidence attracts real love. The perfection trap. You try to be the perfect partner to avoid abandonment. But perfection is repulsive. You're paralyzed by the fear of showing your true personality, your real needs, your human flaws. Here's the truth. Perfect partners are boring. They don't inspire passion. They don't create chemistry. They don't generate real intimacy. It's authentic imperfections that create genuine connection. Emotional metabolism. Emotions in relationships are like nutrients. They need to be processed honestly, not suppressed. When you swallow disappointment, it turns into resentment. When you suppress your needs, they turn into explosive anger. When you hide your fears, they turn into controlling behavior. Process your emotions, feel them, understand them, and communicate them clearly. Stop accumulating emotional waste that poisons your relationships from within. The relationship paradox. You humble yourself to keep relationships, but this causes you to lose them. People lose attraction to those who are always available, always agreeable, always sacrificing. Healthy love is based on mutual respect, not one-sided devotion. Two complete people choosing each other, not two incomplete halves desperately clinging together. The moment of truth. Now you know the truth. Your need for love was hijacked by your ego to control you. Your romantic feelings were perverted into validation addiction. Your relationships became emotional survival instead of joyful connection. The final choice. You have two choices. Remain an emotionally dependent, validation-seeking love addict, or awaken to your inherent worth and begin loving from abundance instead of lack. The call to action. Stop loving out of neediness. Start loving by choice. Stop seeking validation. Start providing it for yourself. The system needs you emotionally dependent to sell you endless products and promises. Your freedom begins when you realize that self-love can be your greatest power if you know how to cultivate it. The ultimatum. The war for your emotional independence has already begun. The question isn't whether you will love, it's whether you will love as a beggar or as a sovereign. Your need for love was designed to keep you dependent, but now you know the game. And knowledge is power. Use it. If this content awakens something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. The revolution starts in your heart.